students all and listeners. Welcome to Mantax Guide Orientation. I'd like to welcome back the grade 5 who are with us and like to give a special welcome to the persons who are not with us in grade 5 and you are joining us for the first time. As Mr. Jackson has already said, I am Mrs. Manta, the person behind the Mantax Guide. As you know, I used to do extras preparing children for exam before COVID, and then when COVID came, we transitioned to online learning, and thus we have this platform. For those of you who are joining for the first time, and you would like to know a little more about me, because some parents they want to know what they are letting in themselves for. I just want to give you just a little synopsis. Well, I've been an educator for more than 40 years. I've had experience at all levels, from primary to prep to high school, and experience at the university level. I have had experience in the classroom as a classroom teacher. I've worked in curriculum development. I've worked as an author, as an editor, as a maths coach, as a schools challenge quiz coach, as an exam marker, like in times of GSAT for the Ministry of Education, as an item writer for the exam. And so I've had a lot of experience with exam. I've prepared, I've gone through common entrance, preparing children for common entrance. I've gone through the whole term of GSAT, preparing children for GSAT, and now PEP. I've coached children who have achieved at the highest level in the exam. All the scholarships that I give out, you can name them. I've had students who have gained all of those over my tenure, from the highest, from top boy to top girl to all the other categories of scholarship. And most importantly, I have helped children to be placed in the school of their choice and have managed to help children to improve, to do better so they could get passes in traditional schools. So that's basically no. For this program, the whole idea of Mantax Guide is not to replace school, but it is a support system to support you and your child as you prepare for the exam. It will give you a better hands-on experience with the curriculum, what the children are doing, because it is a curriculum-based exam. So I'm actually doing the curriculum. And along with that, I have programs in place to help the children to develop the skills which they need for the exam. So they will get a lot of activities, tests, worksheet, performance tasks, practices. To get them in line, they'll be doing time tests to help to develop their speed. So it's a whole support system to get you there, and it is a timely one. So that the exam is about process. So the children, it's not about recall. It's more about critical thinking, and critical thinking is a kind of development. So you start simple, you get, and it goes up. Challenges get greater as you move towards the exam. So the children will be getting lessons and activities in all the areas. So for example, they'll be doing an exam, and they'll be doing an ability exam. They'll be doing a curriculum-based exam in all the subjects: mathematics, language arts, science, social studies. And plus they'll be doing performance tasks in language arts and mathematics. So the program is designed to give the children experiences in all these areas. And as I say, it is a support system. So whatever they are doing at school, plus what I'm doing, it can't be too much. Now, usually how we do this thing when we start in July, we start the curriculum right away. Usually after the first week, I may do a little revision, do some foundation work. And usually some people will say the foundation work is simple. That's good because I want you to have the foundation. If we don't have a foundation, we can't build on it. And whether you like it or not, sometimes some children come into the program and some of the little foundation work that they should have, it is lacking. And if it is lacking, I can't build on it. So usually I start with the foundation work in July, and then we can spring from there. And as I said, you wouldn't be doing ability work before, you'll be doing it now. Usually I started in grade 5, so the children who are with me, then you will be already exposed to it. So we just continue from there. What I'm asking you to do is to be consistent, to be at all the classes. And even if you are not at home, wherever you are, you can log into the class. Or if for some reason you didn't get to do the class, you can always go back and watch the lesson. What else is going to make you do well is to ensure that you are doing all the activities. So whenever we do a lesson, we put up some activities. What is the function of the activity? For reinforcement and also to give us an idea if you are grasping the lesson. Because we can go back and look at your work and to see what you have done. So for example, if we set certain questions and we notice that majority of the students got that question wrong, then we may know that we need to, whether if something was not wrong with the question, we would know that we need to do some more work on the topic. So it is very important that you do your activities, because if you don't do the activities, we do not know how well you are doing. And when you do the activities, we will be better able to give your parents a truer picture of your performance, because from time to time they'll be getting reports on your performance in the class. And remember now, this is a gradual process. So you're not going to get up one day and you just get it. So that is why we have to start from now. So put things in place and we work towards it. And remember, you have the exams at different times. So at different times during the program, we'll be focusing more on them. For example, when it is ability time, we'll be focusing more on ability. When it's performance time, we'll be putting more focus on that. When it is curriculum-based time, we'll be putting more focus on that, right? But everything will be done throughout the year and throughout the program. So you have to be at class all the time. And if you miss a class, you have to make sure you get it by going back to watch the class and to ensure that you are doing the activities. All right, so that is for now. Unless you have anything later on, I'm going to turn over back to Ms. Jackson to continue with the other things that you need to tell you about.
All right, thank you so much, Mrs. Mantalk. And again, for the parents who have come on since we started, if you have any questions, feel free to use the raise hand button or to just type them in the chat and we will be able to unmute you or respond to your question depending on how you ask. So if you raise your hand, I'm going to assume you need to be unmuted and I'll unmute you. And if you type it in the chat, we'll just respond to you. Okay. All right. So thanks again, Mrs. Mantalk. So let me continue with an overview of the members of the Mantalk's Guide team. So for those of you who are on from grade 5, you would be familiar with them already. And those of you who are on from grade 4, you will be familiar with our grade 4 teachers who are here, Mrs. Jackson Walters and Mrs. Wedderburn. Mrs. Mantalk is supported by a team of educators. Her son, Mr. Mantalk, who you will meet shortly, he's a software developer, and the content creators who are able to put up those awesome lessons and worksheets that you have on your student portal, and of course, the administrators of the program as well. So from left to right, we have Mr. Akil Strawn. He's the one that ensures that all the recordings are up for you. And and beside him is myself, Miss Jackson. I am the one that does a lot of the behind the scenes work on, the communication and things like that. So if you have any issues on WhatsApp, you're either speaking with myself or Mrs. Holmes or Miss Holmes, who is not on screen right now, but she supports the conversations that you guys have that we have on WhatsApp. Miss Mantalk, she's unable to speak right now, but you will see her for sure. If you were in grade 5, you saw her in science. So she will continue to be your science teacher in grade 6. And Mrs. Mantalk will cover all the other subjects and everything else you will need to support your PEP preparation. Mr. Mantalk, I think he can unmute. If he can unmute now, he will give you a quick hello. Mr. Mantalk, if you're available, feel free to share your camera and unmute and say hello to our new grade 6 cohort. I see someone had their hand up. I see a few questions, so I'll get to them shortly. Go for it, Mr. Mantalk.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the grade 6 Mantalks guide. For those who were previously in grade 5, thanks for returning. For the newcomers, we're glad to have you. I will also be your math tutor for a special Wednesday class that we have as we get close to the exams. That's more interactive, where you can ask me questions and I will help you to solve your math problems. So looking forward to meet all of you guys throughout the year.
All right, so thank you. Someone is asking if we can pin the presentation. I don't know if the host can assist with that. Check and see if we can pin the presentation or spotlight the presentation. They said they're just seeing my name. My video is also on, so I'm not sure why. All right, and somebody's asking, how do we access the recording? So we're going to get to that, but recordings are posted on the portal. Okay, it's working now, so thank you, everyone. All right, so that's the Manta. Oh, how could I forget Miss Lewis? Is Miss Lewis on? Yes, she's on. I don't know if she can speak, but she is responsible for processing all your payments and ensuring that you get your receipts when you send your payments. So Miss Lewis is very important in our administration. All right. I see some questions coming, but you guys are preempting my presentation. I'm guessing you have to jump off soon. I'll try to get to those questions as soon as I reach to another little break. All right, so mantalksguide.com. This is how you access your class. This is how you'd have registered. For those who have registered already, it should be everybody here, but if you've registered, this is where you'd go, and this is how you log into class. I'll take you through the portal in a little bit, but this is where we do everything. It's an all-in-one platform. You do all the classes through the portal, you do all the lessons, all the tests, all the work that you'll do, anything that you need to study. You don't really need any additional textbooks. You can use the ones you're already using in school. We're not going to tell you to go and buy any additional ones because we post all the information in your portal. All right. An overview of what we did over the past year in terms of what is posted to the portal. So for grade 4, we did 135 lessons, 135 worksheets, and we had 144 class recordings posted on the site. And then for grade 5, 120 lessons, 149 worksheets, and 141 different recordings. Grade 6, of course, will have the most. That's the most intense preparation for PEP. So 146 lessons, 201 worksheets, and 187 recordings of the classes. So your portal will have all of this information. It may seem like a lot now. We don't put it up, everything up at once, of course. We'll go through the lesson in class. We'll put it up after class, and then we ask that you go through it again for reinforcement, as Mrs. Mantalk said. So all of the lessons that we put up will have an activity. I'll show you what that looks like when I log into the portal in a bit. So classes are held for grade 6 on Fridays at 4 to 6 and Saturdays, I'll say 3 to 6. It was 4 to 6, but usually we start an hour early. We do some revision early so that we can get the students who may not have been comfortable with what we did the day before. We can get them on early, get some extra work in. And we might even go an extra hour early for an extra hour after class on a Friday if we have tests. So our our platform, I mean, our program is very dynamic. So that's why we encourage you to sign up for the email alerts and the WhatsApp alerts. In case we have an extra hour where we're doing a test or a prep test, we will send out that notification by email and WhatsApp, or share it in class before. All right, so I'll get to how you can sign up for the WhatsApp alerts in a bit. So what will you need to transition to our online learning program? You will need the internet, of course. So the device that the student is using must have internet access. You will need a tablet or a computer. So notice I did not say a phone. You'll need a tablet or a computer. And the reason why is because the phone, how our website renders, it's not suitable for a phone right now, right? So you'll need a screen that's large enough to be able to do the lessons and do the worksheets. The phone, not so great with that. So we ask that you get a tablet or a computer to be able to go through our program, right? A laptop, computer, tablet. On that tablet or computer, you will need Google Chrome installed. That's our preferred browser. If you have a different browser, it might not work as well. So we encourage you to install Google Chrome as the browser of choice, as well as Zoom. So Zoom is needed on the device, as well as Google Chrome, to be able to view the lessons and everything correctly, and to attend class. Even though you don't need to log into Zoom separately, you still access it through our website. You still need Zoom installed on that device. And of course, your notebook to take notes during class. All right. I am going to, after this slide, I'll pause and take questions, but we also recommend, if you do have a tablet, that tablet be accompanied by a mouse and a keyboard, more preferably the keyboard more than the mouse, but we want the students to be able to type and be able to communicate with us well. So a keyboard is preferred, optional, but highly recommended if you have a tablet. So you can buy a Bluetooth one and it will connect to it. All right, so before I get into this next segment on how to access the website, I'm going to take the questions. There's 2 hands up, so feel free to unmute and ask your question. If your hand is up, I've given you the privilege to unmute, and I'll check the chat for other questions. So recordings are available on the portal. Someone asked, what points are reports of students given? You didn't receive, okay, so reports are usually given at least twice a term. So I'm sorry about that. The report should have gone out for the end of grade 5. We will ensure that we try and get those out. So thank you for that feedback. Will you still be able to access grade 5 lessons when you go to grade 6? Unfortunately, no. The grade 5 portal will no longer be available once we start grade 6. All right, so Naisha, did you have a question? Your hand is up. Do you have a question, Naisha? All right. No, okay. The days of class, it's Friday. I went through the days. It's the same days that I went through a while ago. I'll just go back quickly so you can see. Fridays 4 p.m., Saturdays 3 p.m. It's the same time from now until the end of June next year, or whenever the PEP exams are next year. So here it is, Fridays 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., Saturdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Anya, if you have a question, you may go ahead. I'm not hearing your question, Anya. All right, you can unmute and ask your question. Naisha or Anya. Naisha, if you're not asking a question, I'm just going to lower your hand. If you come back and you want to ask a question, feel free to unmute and ask it. You have that power.
I didn't ask a question. I accidentally pressed the raise hand.
Okay, no problem. Let me just mute you then, and All right, no problem. All right, no, we're a fully online program. Thanks for that great question. We're a fully online program now, so everything that we do is online through our portal. All right, so logging into the website. When you go onto mantalksguide.com, let me go here. You will be able to log in by clicking the login button on the top right. So you press login and you will get access to log in with your student name and password. And let me just log into grade 5. And then you will have access to the portal that will look like this. So on the left, you'll see home, and the home screen is what is here. The home screen has a list of all the activities that are available to be completed. So you, first of all, you'll see the live class button at the top. For those who are in grade 5, we have the button here. You'll see one for Friday and Saturday for grade 6. The activities that are due will be at the top of your portal at all times. The activities that are in progress will be here in the middle, and it will have the pink in progress tab at the bottom, as well as the activities that are completed will be at the bottom with the green label that shows what grade you got on that activity when you complete it. So parents, when you log in, you can scroll right down to the completed section and look at what the grades are. If anything looks untoward, like this mathematics test with 0%, you can just click it. And then when it opens, you can review what happened during the test or what questions were answered correctly or incorrectly. A lot of parents do this. They go through, they review, and they point out where something seems awry. For example, here it looks like this test wasn't completed at all. So it will show you the correct answers versus the answer that the student completed. Now, this section is where you'll have at a glance the different types of activities as well. So the lesson, the tests, and the writing tasks. So those are the general activity types we have. We have lessons, worksheets, tests, and the writing tasks. So the writing tasks are the ones that are graded by the teacher. Those have a deadline. If you submit it after that deadline, it will not be graded. So the writing tasks are the ones that we will we'll do it in class or give you the overview in class. We'll put it up on the portal with the instructions, and the teacher will go in and mark it. And if you don't submit it by the deadline, it will not be marked. Everything else is automatically marked, and all of those you'll be able to see the grade in the completed section. Now, someone was asking, where do you go to get the recordings? You click the schedule view. So you'll only, if you click this live class button, you'll only be able to access it during class time. So it literally is the only place you go to access class that is going on right now. If class is finished, if it's after class time and you need to go back and look at the recording, you click schedule, and then you'll see all the recordings populated in the schedule view. It will have the word recording by it, and it will, the status of the activity will just say for review. It won't say due, it won't say in progress, it won't say completed, it will just say for review, because you don't get a grade for the recording, of course. If it is completed, then you'll see completed here, as you can see on my screen in the bottom right, you'll see completed. And if it's in progress, as in you started it and you haven't finished it, you'll see that as well here. If you have not started it at all, it will be due. So the same statuses that you saw on the home screen are the ones here in the schedule view. However, the schedule gives you the order in which the activities should be completed, right? So it gives you a list of all of the work that we've done, and by the subjects, the type of activities, and the order in which they should be completed. So let me click on one of them for you, cause and effect. This is a lesson. So the lessons are what we go through in class. We'll go through it in class first, and then we will also put it up on their portal. And we put it up on their portal because it has activities that are built in for them to complete. And we expect that they complete the lessons. The lessons, as I said, are reinforcement. And then when you complete the lesson, you also get a grade for the lesson. So this is an example of a lesson, a language arts lesson. we'll put it on your portal and you can go through. And then when it comes to, normally the activities are at the end, sometimes they're in between. So you have to go to the end of the lesson to make sure that you've completed all activities, because there can be more than one activity. So this one is a drag and drop. There are different types of activities. There's fill in the blank. There's multiple choice. I'm not reading the question. I'm just clicking something just for demonstration purposes. So sometimes it will give you more than one try. So when you're finished, it will tell you which ones are correct and which ones are incorrect. So this is incorrect. This is incorrect. If it's correct, it's in green. If it's incorrect, it's in red. So that will form a part of my grade. Again, you click the answer and then you press submit. It will give you more than one try for some questions. And then at the end, you press the complete button. I did this one already, so it's saying my review is complete because I already got a grade for it. But I would get my grade popped up on the screen if it was the first time that I was doing it. That's the lesson. All right. So that the other type of activity, the worksheet or the test, let's click on our worksheet and I'll go through that and show you what that looks like. It says, are you ready to start this assignment? I will select yes. And then the worksheets and the test, they have a similar format, but the test has a timer at the top. So the tests that we do in class or we give them on their own to do, they're only allowed a certain amount of time, for example, just to help them to keep that mindset of doing things in a timed way, in a time fashion, to simulate what they can expect in the PEP exams, right? So for this one, the pronouns worksheet and any worksheet or test that we put up, once you click the answers, you notice that it's populating over here on the right in the answer grid. So you can see that the student can ensure that all the questions are completed before they submit their answers to be graded. So the answer grid will kind of give you an idea of what you had selected, what the answers are, and what your grade is at the end. You can, all right, so I'm just going to press save and then I'm going to press submit. It's telling me that I didn't complete it. If I still want to submit it, students, you don't do this. I'm just doing this for example purposes. You should complete all of your work before you press submit. And then once you press submit, it will give you a grade. So it's not really a good effort, but 12.5% because I didn't finish it and I wasn't really checking the answers. I was just clicking. So you can go back and review after, and then that 12.5% is going to come on my portal, but it's just a test. Students, you won't do that badly. All right, so those are the worksheets. I see some questions. Let me just finish my overview of the portal and then I will take your questions. And so this over here, you can also select the subject that you want to see the activities for. You have math, performance, tasks, science. You'll be able to see all the activities related to each of those subjects. And you will also be able to see the 90s club. So you heard if you were on early on, you heard our students talking about their experience on Mantalk's Guide. You have heard them talk about the 90s club. So if you were in grade 5, so the 90s club shows where the top performing students. So if you get over 90 on the test that we put up on the portal, then you'll be able to display we will display your avatar here. Your avatar is the picture that you create on Mantalk's Guide, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. And then the grade that you got on that specific test. So every time we have tests, February, December, October, we displayed their avatars in the 90s club. The avatars, you can create them by clicking the avatar button here. And you can customize, add the hair, eyes, nose, clothes, background. Students really love this. They play around with it and do all sorts of things with it and create really cool looking people. So the students have an option to do that. And whenever they reach the 90s club, that's the picture that is displayed here. All right, so that's basically a quick overview of the portal. For those who have their hand up, please feel free to unmute and ask your questions now.
Hi, afternoon.
Go ahead, good afternoon.
Hi. Okay, a quick question. The ability papers that was there in grade 5, as they'll be doing in grade 6, So for the summer, is it possible just to access the ability papers for the grade 6 students?
How the portal is built, you can't access a piece of it and not the other. So the portal gives you access to everything. And unfortunately, we'll have to take down the grade 5 portal to put them onto grade 6. So don't worry. As I think I don't know if you were on earlier when we mentioned how much ability work they actually got in grade 6 last year. I think it was over 30 different tests. By the time our kids were ready for the ability exam, they were so confident and comfortable because they had done so much prep work. So don't worry too much about it. They will, anything that they need to prepare for grade 6, they will be on their portal in grade 6. So I understand your concern, but unfortunately, just a technology, we can't have them on both at the same time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yes. All right, thanks for that question. It was a very great question. Naisha or Tasai, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. Please forgive me. Please let me know if you would like to ask a question. All right. Is there anyone else? Tasai, your hand is up. Would you like to ask a question?
Just to confirm, good afternoon. I know you said it before, the time for grade 6, is it 4 to 6 on Friday? And what was the time for Saturday, please?
3, yes, good question. Thank you. 3 to 6 on a Saturday. And the 3 to 4 hour is kind of revision or review. So if we do a test on Friday, we'll ask them to come on 3 to 4 to review the test or to review some work that we did on the Friday. So that hour is usually for review purposes, but we still ask that everybody come on. But if you can't, we'll completely understand. But we ask everybody come on from 3 o'clock. Petrina has a question, and so does Kitanya and Tashania. So Petrina, you want to go first? Or Tashania, I'm so sorry if I let me know the correct pronunciation, please.
It's Tashania. Good
okay.
When for the summer school, what time does it start and end?
All right, it's the same time, 4 to 6. The time goes from now till next year, June. So the same time from now until next year, June is 4 to 6 and 3 to 6. 4 to 6 on a Friday and 3 to 6 on a Saturday.
Oh, so it's just so it's just Fridays and Saturdays.
Correct. Right.
Okay.
So we're an extra lessons or extra support program. So it's our program is meant to complement what's happening in school. So we have the same schedule from now till the end of June.
Oh, okay. Why did I have it that you guys would do from Monday to Thursday?
I'm not sure why. Sorry about that if you got that impression.
All right,
you're welcome. Okay, Petrino, you had a question, Petrino? Or Kitanya, either one?
Yes, Kitanya has a question. Hello?
Okay.
Yes,
Go, Petrina,
my
then
child
Kitanya.
started with you in the middle of, my child started with you in the middle of grade 5, so I wasn't privy to the orientation. But I'm looking, based on what you said before, based on the 90s club, how do you identify your child?
Student.
Because I noticed each one has a unique number, right?
Good question. Sorry that I left that out. I appreciate the question. So if you log into your student portal and you're in the 90s club, you'll see your name here. Because I'm not in the 90s club, my name is not showing here. But like for example, if this person's name is John Brown, if John Brown logs into his portal, he'll see his name here, John Brown. So we're not displaying the names to everybody. We're displaying the pictures to everybody, but you will know if you're in the 90s club, if you log in and your name, you can see your name. So your name will show in the portal. So this person's name will show in their portal, this person's name will show in their portal. Instead of the asterisk or the stars here, you'll see your name. So that's how you'll know if you're in the 90s club.
Okay.
And the
So
picture will seeing... No, go ahead, sorry.
So if you're not, so the follow-up question is that you have to, if you're not seeing your name, then you're not there. Would it still be accessible for, would it still be accessible for the grade 5 portal?
Yeah, if you log in now, I'm logged into the grade 5 portal now. You should still be able to see it.
Okay, all right.
Yep, no problem. Sorry, and Kitanya.
Yes, good afternoon all. Love your platform.
Thank you.
My question is,
Hey.
while I acknowledge that there's a lot of more multiple choice based question based upon last year's experience in grade 5, as we know, the PEP is more critical thinking, as was highlighted by one of your co-workers. My thing is that, will you have more written or typed up questions for grade 6? Because as I said before, PEP is more critical thinking, analyzing, and writing, as opposed to multiple choice based.
So PEP is both. We do both. So PEP does have multiple choice, and it also. Go ahead, Mr. Manta. Yes. Go ahead.
Yes. Read the question about the PEP exam, about the writing. The only writing the students are doing in the PEP exam is in grade 6 is in the performance tasks in language arts and mathematics. The curriculum base is multiple choice, which is the 4 subjects: mathematics, language arts, science, social studies. The ability exam is multiple choice as well. Only the 2 performance tasks, which is the language arts and the mathematics, will be writing. And the mathematics is like a problem solving solution where you show working. And in the language arts, you will have like a comprehension section. Sometimes you have multiple choice in it as well. And then you're asked to write like maybe a letter, a composition, essay, some form to answer a question you have to write to answer your question. So you only have language arts to write in and the problem solving section in the mathematics. But based on the exams that were already done, everything else is all the curriculum-based exams were multiple choice and the ability. As a matter of fact, they do more writing in grade 5 exam because they have 4 performance tasks than in grade 6. All right.
Okay, thank you for highlighting that to me, because
yes,
we just finished grade 5 and it's more writing, as I highlighted.
Right.
So I was wondering if it's filtering
grade
back
5.
into grade 6. So
Right. So
thanks for the clarity.
Grade 6, they have the 4 exams are multiple choice. The 4 curriculum based are multiple choice. The ability is multiple choice. The mathematics performance task is like usually what you do in CXC, when you solve your problem and come into a conclusion. And the language, you will be asked to write some form of writing, whether it be a letter, a speech, an essay, composition, a report, anything, but you get some form of writing in the language. All right. So don't worry yourself about what you have to worry about is the children's ability to interpret and answer the critical thinking questions, because the answers will be there and sometimes they are near, Okay. Yes, Miss Jackson.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead again.
All right, Anyo, go ahead, and then Ashona.
But I was asking how you joined because my internet was disconnecting and I had to rejoin the meeting, so I didn't hear half the things we're saying.
All right. Well, you have to watch back the recording when we post it, my dear. So it will be posted to the student portal, so you can watch back the recording if you missed anything. So sorry about that. Ashawa, you have a question? Ashawna? I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Kitanya, did you have another question? Or is it okay? Okay. Ashawna, if you have a question, go ahead now. I'm not hearing. Okay, I'm hearing you now.
How do you get into the grade 6?
I'm sorry, go ahead. Go again.
How do we get into the grade 6?
The portal is not up yet. So when the portal is up, we'll send out an email and it will tell you how to access it. It's not available yet.
Okay.
All right.
You.
You're welcome. That's a good question. All right. So Let me go back into the presentation. And if anyone has any questions, I really appreciate all the great questions you guys are asking. Feel free to continue asking them in the chat, or you can raise your hand and I will unmute you after my next segment. So everyone should know now how to access how to log into the site, how to join class. When you see the live class button at the top, that's what you click to join class. When you go into the portal, you'll get access to your activities and lessons, and then you'll also be able to do your tests and worksheets, and you can also review the recordings of the class on the schedule view. So that's how you get access to the recordings. You click the schedule and you'll see the recordings there. Someone was asking about the writing task. This is what the writing task would kind of look like. We'll ask you the question. We'll give you the instructions on writing it in your book first, and then you can write the answers here. The teachers go in and grade these. So these have a deadline. You have to submit anything that the teachers are reviewing your writing. You have to submit it by a specific date so the teachers can mark them. If you come on after and you do it, the teacher is not necessarily going to be able to mark it. So you just ensure that as you're doing work in the website, you press the save button and the submit button and ensure that your work is graded. If you don't get a grade, that means we won't see that it is graded and you've completed it. So make sure that when you're doing your tests, that you get a grade at the end. Sometimes it's best to write down that little grade if you can, to make sure. And we spoke about the 90s club. So if you get an average of over 90, your picture will be in our 90s club, and everyone who logs in will be able to see your picture. They won't see your name, but they'll see your picture. So we use Zoom webinar, the same thing that you're on now. So if we asked the same procedure, if you have a question, you raise your hand, use the chat, and we have assistant teachers on board who can help you. For grade 6, Mr. Mantok teaches an extra Wednesday class to help those with math. So that class is more for students who are, a little bit behind, or they want to help get some additional help in. We do that class on a Wednesday, and so that class is open mic. You can unmute and talk and ask you questions and stuff like that. So we just ask you to keep in mind that when you're not speaking, your mic should be muted. If in the general class, your video is off. And you'll only be allowed to talk, students, you'll only be allowed to talk to your teachers. You won't be allowed to talk to each other. And that helps to minimize disruptions in class. So when you're in class, use the raise hand button, be polite, of course, and ask questions. And you should never unmute your mic unless you are called on. Don't write on the screen or don't share your screen. No, there's no additional cost for that Wednesday class. We will let you know. Those don't start until later down. They're not offering that, I don't think, this summer. In September, you'll hear more about those. All right, and they're not at an extra cost. So what are the keys to success? It's what I call the trifecta of partnership between teachers, parents, and students. As teachers, we will do our best to make sure that you have the material, the content, and everything that you need, and access to get better understanding of the information. But as parents and students, we are also going to ask you to play your part in this journey towards successfully passing the exams. Students, Mrs. Mantok said this before, but I can't say it enough. You have to do the work on the portal. When we put up the work, you have to do the work. And the students who had the best success on our platform were the students who completed most of their work. And we have the statistics to show you if you want to see it. So if you do the work on the platform, you will be able to be more confident in the material. You'll get that reinforcement that we spoke about. So just do as much work as possible as you can on the platform. Do all of the work if you can. The student, our top girl in Jamaica that you heard about, you heard on the intro to the session this morning, she was able to do everything on the portal. So just to keep that in mind, that even the students who are the ones doing the work on the portal are the students who will eventually rise. So ensure that you have a quiet environment to learn in. Join class on time. If you have a question, ask it. It's only the teacher seeing, the class not seeing your question. So there's no problem in asking a question, no matter how simple it is. We will be happy to facilitate the answers to any question. There's no such thing. The only dumb question is a question that you didn't ask. All right, so ask all the questions. Have your water bottle and a notebook ready. Some students, if they have a noisy environment, headphones might work well with those students. Do all the work. Post it again, and when you're reviewing the lessons, even though the lessons are on the portal, if you take your notes based on what is on there, it will help you to recall the information. So have a process in place where you're reviewing the work. Once we put it up, we put up work on a Sunday after class, and the latest is on Monday. So all the class recordings and stuff will go up between Sunday and Monday. All right, after class. Class is on Friday and Saturday, everything goes up Sunday and Monday. So you'll have access to all of that information. There are some students who are unable to attend the classes on a Saturday, they go through on a Sunday, and they're able to go through everything before the next class on Friday. Parents, we are asking you to ensure that you can support your children with their specific learning style. There are some children who say, they're kind of distracted with the online thing. So help us to help them by possibly, providing some sort of reward or incentive when they get their work completed on the site. Our portal has student points as well. So if you complete a certain number of activities, you'll get points for it. So, you can set targets for them. If you get X amount of points, you can get, a patty or something nice that they like. I don't know if patty is the right thing, but something set us a nice little incentive for them. Now, if they reach the 90s club, I know some parents used to do that. If you get to the 90s club, then you give them a little extra hour watching the TV or something like that. So you can motivate them in different ways, help us to help them, and just ensure that they have their environment is generally conducive to learning. So quiet, focused as much as possible, and check their portals. You use their login, go into their portal, look at what they're doing. We will try to do our best to send out reports as frequently as possible. And this is an example of what the reports looks like. So we'll send out a report that shows you the student's grade, average grade, what the class average is, and the number of activities they've completed by subject. So our reports that are sent out will guide you to see if your student is doing the activities. Like for this one, the student is not completing their math activities 3 out of 15, but their average is still high. That's because this is one of the teacher's owns, but the teacher's reports. But you'll get a gist of how the class is doing and how your student is doing and whether or not they are completing their activities. So we ask that you review the reports. We'll send out a WhatsApp. We'll send out an email. We'll let you know when the reports are sent so that you have access to that information and you can know how your student is performing. All right. So are there any questions on that before I get to the very few housekeeping items that we have? It's only 1 or 2 quick housekeeping items. I see a hand up. Andrew, go ahead, Andrew. Let me take a sip of water.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I started in grade 5 and I must say that I'm pleased with the program so far. I heard what you said. I heard what you said about the portal for grade 5 and for grade 6. Last week when I tried to access the grade 5 portal, I got the message that I think it was down, or I'm unable to access the full portal. So I was only able to see like the lessons. I wasn't able to get access to the worksheet. My question is, being that the grade 6 portal is not yet up, if I should pay now, will my child have access to the grade 5 worksheets? Because there are some worksheets that she did not get to complete.
So Mr. Manta can let me know, but we're planning to take down the grade 5 portal in the next few days. So it wouldn't make sense to pay to access it because we're taking it down shortly.
Mr. Jackson?
Go for it, Mrs. Manta.
Yes, good afternoon, Miss. I'm just reminding you that when the children did the performance task. We were sort of finished with grade 5, and we just want them to get a break from their work and clear their mind, enjoy some activities, forget about the work for a while, and come back fresh with a fresh mindset for the grade 6 program. So usually when you finish a grade or you finish an exam, you get a break. So I wouldn't be expecting this parents still to be asking the children to be doing worksheet at that time. Because sometimes when you do that, it's like the children, they are just stressed and burdened and burnt out right through. So you give them a break a couple of weeks, and then when they come back to the next program, they are fresh to start. And usually, like when I start the next program, what I usually do, I start back with foundation work. So nobody have to be worrying about, that they come not knowing anything, because I take you as you are. You come back fresh and ready to learn. But if you just have them going straight through, it's like they come back burnout and they're not ready. So the focus that you want won't be there. So that is why usually when I finish a program with them, I just give them a break, forget about that now. You look forward to the new program.
Okay, thanks for that. The reason why we had gone on to the portal after the PEP is that her school was doing final exams, and I wanted her to get some practice, some revision worksheets. So that's the reason why we went on it, but we were not able to access them. So yeah.
Okay. But usually what I do, when they are finished, I just want them to take a break and get ready. I don't want them to see school and work as something that is restricting them all the time. So I want them to come back fresh.
Okay, thank you.
Right, yes.
All right.
Okay.
So basically the answer to my question then is that nothing until grade 6.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, man, no problem.
All right, thanks for that. Petrina, did you have a question? I saw your hand up, but it came back down. If you do, you can feel free to answer. If not, I'll check the chat quickly. When does grade 5 PEP results come out? Whenever the ministry put it out, my dear. I'm not sure at all.
They usually, Ms. Jackson, they usually is the school will be informed, because usually like those results, they send them to the schools.
Yeah.
All the results are sent to schools, so the school will inform you.
And remember that
sometimes, excuse me, and sometimes they don't like for grade 5 and grade 4. Sometimes the student don't even know the results until they go back to school for the next term. Because sometimes they take that long.
Right, because there's
like with the grade 6 exam, no, they have to.
They have to.
Right, and then this year though, the grade 6 exam is going to be late, because the children are not getting their exam until in July this year. So so it will be after they are graduated from school, before they know where they're going.
Right.
So usually they send that for their grades 4 and 5. It takes a little while, but the school will have it. But that will not affect the grade 4 and 5, because they know they are going to the next grade in their school. But the grade 6, they have to get it because they know they are going to another school.
Right. Thanks for that question, Renee.
Okay.
All right. So I'm not seeing any other questions. So let's go through your housekeeping matters. Oh, Andrew, do you have another question?
Yeah, yes. Can you remind me, when is the first PEP exam for grade 6 and the subjects?
I mean next year, but they haven't put out the schedule as yet.
No, the first PEP exam is the ability.
Yeah.
And usually the ability is somewhere like February. It's like it would be in the second term. So like, for example, this set that went, the first exam was the ability, and the ability is usually the first exam, and it was in February. So you're looking at the second term. That's when the exams are. So you have the ability, then you have the performance task, and then the curriculum based supposed to be the last one. But
Right.
the performance tasks, those weren't done this year, so I don't know what is going to happen next year. Okay.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay.
Great questions. Okay. All right. Let me just go through my quick housekeeping matters and then we can kind of wrap up. So for persons who want to know what's going on in the program, if they want to get alerts on when class is starting, when lessons are posted, you know, when we have holiday schedules, if we have if we have tests coming up, things like that, we'll send out WhatsApp alerts. So it's not a group. You're not going to get tons of notifications from people all over, like the WhatsApp groups that some WhatsApp groups you're in. It's just us sending you a message saying class has started, and it's only you and I. You are the only one getting that message. So it's not a group of people seeing the message. We send it directly to you, and then you can reply to us. So it's one-to-one communication. Emails also. So if you want to get those same alerts by email, once you register, we'll add you to our email list. Sometimes it will go to spam. Sometimes people unsubscribe from the emails because they don't want to get it, but we encourage you not to do that because we are only sending information about class, especially if you are a paid student. Make sure that you keep those email alerts. So you're subscribed to those email alerts. We'll add you automatically, and some people have, and you will have the option to unsubscribe. So check those at least once a week. For you to get the WhatsApp alerts, you have to add us to your phone as a contact, and then just send us a message saying you want WhatsApp alerts and tell us the name and grade of the child. For payment options, you can do an online bank transfer, or you can go into the bank and pay directly to our account, or you can pay in our office. If you're doing the bank transfer, just make sure that you indicate who it's for, the name of the student, the reference number, the date it was sent, and the amount sent. Normally our bank account is an NCB account, so most of our payments go there. So WhatsApp us a copy of the receipt or send it to us by email. If you are coming into our office, this is our address, 14A Central Avenue, Kingston 10. We're located off Constant Spring Road after Kings Plaza. At the top of the road, Central Avenue, and the name of the building is Senatech Engineering. So we're inside that building, and you can make payments directly here, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can reach out to us at any of these numbers, or at this number or this email, and we will be able to respond to any other questions or queries or concerns you may have during the program. If you have any technical issues, anything like that, you can call us or email us. All right. I see you have another question. Andrew, go ahead.
Hi, yeah, this is actually Andrew now. What mode of payment do you take at the office at Central Avenue?
Oh, credit card or cash. So you can pay by card or cash or debit card, any kind of card or cash.
All right, thank you.
Not what's a key card, not key card. So any multi-link card or cash.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. No problem. We're hoping to have other payments soon, but I don't want to tell you and then it doesn't happen. So for now, that's what we have. All right. So are there any other questions about the program or about anything that I've presented today that you did not get answered? Our classes start next week, Friday at 4 p.m. And so make sure that you're on time. Everybody has everything that they need for class, and that you are prepared to get started with grade 6. We're big kids now in our final year. So we're looking forward to having all of you and to get started with our grade 6 program. Do you have any more questions? Oh, I see Melissa has a question. Go ahead, Melissa. I'm not, if you can go ahead and unmute Melissa, and I can. Yeah,
afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
And so my question is, in terms of a revision, because I know Miss Mantok stated that she normally starts with revision. How long does that last? Is it a one, like for the first 2 classes, or like a month? Just want an example.
I don't know if she's on. She had said a week. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Mrs. Mantok.
Like revision is just like when I start a class. Let me say I usually do a little foundation work. just to ensure that you have certain basic skill before going to the thing. So you will find it's mixing with what they should know and what like little skills that they should come with before. So it's not that I'm going to revise grade 5. I'm going to revise grade 4. It's just like some, for example, if I'm teaching, say, mathematics, depending on the topic that I'm teaching, I need you to come with certain basic skills. So for example, if I'm going to do factors, say, and multiples, I need you to have certain basic skill about numbers. So I'll maybe go over some little things with numbers with you. So that may take me a little while in the class, maybe not more than an hour or so. So it's not that I'm going to be using a month revising. No, I'm not doing that. I'm just spotting on some little foundation concepts that they should know. All right?
All right, thank you.
Yeah, all right, you're welcome.
Someone is asking how many worksheets are posted each week.
The number of worksheets posted depends on the number of lessons that are taught and the number of concepts. Because sometimes a lesson may have more than one worksheet, so it's not. But at least you'll get about 3 to 4.
3, yeah.
Right, on average. Sometimes you get 2 depending on what was taught. So
Right.
Right.
Random worksheets. It depends on, it definitely depends on what we teach in class.
Related to to what you're supposed to do and what you're supposed to know. So
Right.
we'll give like you're supposed to know your vocabulary and your comprehension. So those will come in also apart from what we are teaching. And you will find that the students are going to get a lot of ability worksheet. Seeing it is the first exam and ability is not taught as a subject per se in school. So you have to do a lot of activities, those, so you can reinforce concept because it is wide and it's not really a subject that you teach because you draw information from all the other subjects to make up those questions.
Right. We have another question in the chat and then I'll ask Kimisha to ask her question. The question in the chat is, how does the exam in grade 5 affect the overall grades in terms of placement at the end?
The exams that I use would be the performance tasks. So, but the majority of the weighting is grade 6.
Grade 6, yeah.
Right. So the greatest percentage of weighting is in grade 6.
All right. Okay, Kamisha, you had a question, go ahead. Oh, Kamisha's hand came down. But Kamisha, did you still want to ask your question? Someone asked, I'll just read this one while you unmute. If the Saturday revision hour will also be recorded, and the answer is yes, all the classes are recorded. So everything that we teach, including even the Wednesday class, everything that we teach is recorded and it's put on their portals. So if you miss anything at all,
excuse me, Miss.
Go for it. Sometimes that's it. Mrs. Mantop, I'm not hearing you. Or is it me? Okay, Mrs. Mantop, I'm not hearing, are you hearing me? I see a question.
I'm hearing you.
Oh, okay, sorry. Go ahead. Were you saying something a while ago?
No, I was just referring to the extra hour, the 3 to.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
For the first week, the next week, we would not be having that class because we would have just started.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so right. So we'll notify you when that extra review hour is starting.
Come September, you'll be having that all the time.
Every week. All right. So for next week, and we'll send out something 4 o'clock on Friday, 4 o'clock on Saturday. Perfect.
Right.
Okay, so someone is asking for the NCB details. Once you registered, all of that is automatically emailed. So register on the website, and if you're not seeing the information when you register, email us or call us and we will ensure that you get it. So it's automatically emailed once you register. So just go to our site and going to click the register button, and then you'll get the information on how to make payment in that first email that you get automatically. Michaela, you had a question, go ahead.
Good afternoon, can you hear me?
Go ahead, yes.
Okay,
yes,
just making sure. So I just wanted to confirm, so if they miss the Friday class, for example, they'll be able to watch those 2 hours before the Saturday afternoon class and do whatever is required.
No, they won't be able to watch the recording, but they'll be able to, the lessons and recordings don't go up till Sunday. So even the Friday one, it doesn't go up until Sunday. So
Okay,
we're
if they miss the
unable to
Friday.
put it up before the next class, unfortunately. So if they miss the Friday, they can watch it on Sunday.
Okay, and if they
Yeah.
miss the Friday, will that affect what's happening? That would affect things for Saturday class then? Because Saturday is kind of a continuation of Friday.
Mrs. Mantok, I'll let you answer. Go ahead.
Not necessarily, because remember we have, as a matter of fact, we have 5 subjects doing. So maybe it would, because usually we'll try to fit in the maths on both days. So maybe it would only affect that. But basically we would, the science and the social studies, it wouldn't affect because we would be doing them on different days slated. But it wouldn't be so much.
Okay, no, because I was just thinking about, traffic and all those things.
If
Okay.
it's a continuation, I would usually, give a little reminder of what we did before so we can make the connection.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. I see a question, a few in the chat. At what stage do parents get the feedback/report? I don't know if Mr. Mantok can help with this one, but we normally send it out at least twice a term, especially if we have tests. That's when we usually send out the reports after the tests. But I know Mr. Mantok is working on something with the report, so you can go ahead and let us know, Mr. Mantok.
Right, so we'll be sending out a monthly activity report, just in terms of the activities completed and what they completed. And then we normally send out what we call a progress report that would have like the grades of everything on the test grades when we complete what we call our tests. And the tests are normally all subjects over a weekend. We send out a report after that. But you will get a monthly activity report.
Right. And someone is asking, Mrs. Mantok, no, if it's only math and language performance task done in grade 6. She just said yes. Yes. All right. Someone is asking if the recordings can go up on Sunday between 12 and 3. We put them up as early as humanly possible.
So it takes some time because I have to go through the recordings and cut them up. We don't just put them up wholesale. And even because of the length of recordings as well, it takes a little while for us to get them back from the platform. So sometimes we can meet that deadline, but we cannot be held to that deadline.
Right. Yeah. So we do our best, but we have to do a bit of processing on the recordings, so we do it as soon as possible. But they will be up by Monday, the latest. All right. Okay. So you're able to find the banking details? Great. Are there any additional questions anyone has? Feel free to throw it out to us now. We'll be happy to answer. If not, I will just share this video with you. If you're on earlier and you saw it, you can jump off. But for those who are not on, I just wanted to share a quick testimonial video from our parents. I want you guys to have a great rest of the day, and I will.
My name is Kyla Campbell, and I'm currently attending Campion College.
My name is Aisha Campbell, and I heard about Mantok's Guide from a friend of mine who had enrolled her kids with Mantalks before it was actually an online program and had great things to say about the program. Mantalks Guide was the ideal complementary program to support what Kyla was doing at her prep school at the time, Creative Kids Learning Academy. The content was solid, the platform was interactive, and it really helped her to approach this in a disciplined way and to achieve the results that she wanted.
I think the questions on Mantalks Guide were very helpful in the exam. The program really did help me to be prepared for high school because a majority of the topics we're doing that we did in Mantalks helped me in high school right now, and it's more like recall rather than learning everything. They had the 90s club in the portal, and because I'm competitive, I like to be in the 90s club and always have an average that's in the 90s. And so it motivated me to try harder to get into a higher grade. The lessons were very detailed, and going through them over and over again really made it stick in my brain. And I find it very interesting to look at to read the examples and the diagrams that they provided.
I liked how they set up the program. It was interactive. The teachers were exciting. The kids had the opportunity to really ask questions, to learn. And of course, I like the 90s club because in my family, we're competitive. So we always strive for the best. And so getting into that 90s club was something that we always wanted to do across all of the subject areas. So it was really a great way to motivate the kids and to motivate myself and my husband to help them to get there. My biggest advice is just start early. We started the Mantalks program in the summer before the PEP exam, and be consistent.
For the upcoming PEP students, I know it's hard sometimes when you have to be studying day and night, but if you continue to push through, you'll get the results you deserve. And everyone has much potential, and if you keep trying, you'll get where you want to be.
Kyla's achievement of becoming the top girl in Jamaica, which is an amazing achievement, was definitely as a result of hard work on the part of Mantalks Guide and their team, her school, the parent, and most importantly, Kyla herself. Mantalks Guide provided a platform that really helped to support her in achieving this goal and this dream that she had for herself.
Awesome. All right, so thank you everyone. And if you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to us on WhatsApp or wherever, email, you can call us and we'll be happy to respond to your questions. We look forward to seeing you on Friday again, and all the best in the upcoming summer season if I don't see you again, and have a great summer holiday for everyone else. All right, guys, bye-bye. Yeah. Just wait. Oh, what all about that class? You staying here or are you going home? Right there. You have to stay here. Yes, you have to.